In this video, we're going to continue looking at horizontal and vertical asymptotes. So this is similar to the last question, really. It's just, here's a graph, sketch it. So pause the video and try this one for yourself. Working through each one of these points, don't bother about the stationary points one again. Okay, so we've got a quadratic over a quadratic here. It's a bit different to last time. Let's start with the vertical asymptotes. So that's when the denominator is 0, and that's happening at x equals 2, and then x equals minus 1. So here are our vertical asymptotes. Now let's put in our, or think about our horizontal asymptotes. And in this one, as x tends to infinity, we've got a quadratic with the leading term of x squared over another quadratic with a leading term of x squared. As x gets really, really, really big, all of the stuff that isn't x squared becomes proportionally irrelevant. By the time you're at x equals a billion squared is so much bigger than the 1 or 2 or 3 billion you're getting from the unsquared terms that they just don't really matter. So this is tending towards x squared over x squared, or 1. So we've got a horizontal asymptote here of y equals 1. Okay, x-intercept, so that's when p of x is 0. So that's when x equals 1, it's going to cross the x-axis, and when x is minus 2. Y-intercept's when x is 0, so that's minus 1 times 2, divided by minus 2 times 1, so that's just 1. So I'm getting a y-intercept here. Okay, so it's kind of dot to dot now, so I've got to get from this root through here to the asymptote. Well, it can't go through here, so it's going to have to go through here. Now, by the way, this does nip in the bud a common misconception. A lot of people think that an asymptote is a line that the function never crosses. You see, we've just merrily snipped straight through the asymptote of y equals 1. Functions can cross through their own asymptotes. That's totally fine. It's not the definition of an asymptote. An asymptote is a line which the function tends towards to in some direction, and it's going to tend towards it, towards this line over here. But in other parts of the curve, it can cross through. In fact, it could even cross through it over here. It can cross through it infinitely many times, as long as at least in some direction it's getting closer and closer to it. Okay, what about over here? Well, we've got to tend towards this asymptote and go through this line. So that suggests strongly that we are heading down like this. Now, I've got to say, there is a bit of uncertainty here. In theory, this could be looping up over the asymptote and then curving back down. To establish whether it's doing that or not is a little bit fiddly. Basically, the only thing we can do is find stationary points and see if there's one over here. I think a question would be very explicit if they ever wanted you to do that, so I'm not going to bother. I may do later on, but for now I'm not going to bother. Okay, over here, well, we really just need to figure this out, right? We can't be coming from here, otherwise we'd have to cross over the x-axis to get to our asymptote, and we've used up our two roots. So it's going to have to be coming from there, down, and tending towards the asymptote in that direction. So I think that is what this one looks like. Now, I'll leave it as an exercise for you, but if you were to go and work out dy by dx, you will indeed find that it is never equal to 0, suggesting there are indeed no stationary points. If you found out that there were some stationary points, it in theory could have been that this goes up over the asymptote and then curves back down towards it, and this one could have looped back down under and curved back, but it turns out not the case. I'll leave that to you to prove. Okay. Let's have a go at an exam problem. So the curve C has equation y equals f of x, and f of x is x squared plus 2 over x squared minus x minus 2. Find the equation of the asymptotes. Okay, so this is inviting us to just think through the problem one step at a time. I'm going to be getting vertical asymptotes when that denominator is 0. So x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. This one factorizes like this, and so our vertical asymptotes are x equals 2 and x equals minus 1. Horizontally, you can see that as x tends towards infinity, we can ignore all the stuff that isn't x squared, leaving us with x squared over x squared, which is 1. So the horizontal asymptote here is y equals 1. And we're done. Find the coordinates of any stationary points. Okay, so we are explicitly being told, find the stationary points. We do this by differentiation. So v u dash, so v u dash, which is 2x, minus u, x squared plus 2, and v dash, which is 2x minus 1, all over v squared, which is x squared minus x minus 2, all squared. And we want that to equal 0. So that numerator needs to be 0. I'm not that keen on solving a cubic, so could we do any better? Maybe we're going to have to solve a cubic. I don't initially see any really... look, x squared times 2x minus x squared times 2x, the cubics go, and I don't need to solve a cubic. That's good. Expanding this, I get 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x, and then over here, well, it will be 2x cubed but minus, so 2 minus 2x cubed, and then it would be x squared, so it would be minus x squared but minus that, so plus x squared, then plus 4x, so minus 4x, and then minus 2 but minus, so plus 2. The cubic stuff goes, I'm left with minus 2x squared plus x squared, so minus x squared, minus 4x is minus 8x, and then plus 2. And I need to solve this to 1 decimal place. And keying those into my functions, I just get minus 0.9 and 0.9, giving them to 1 decimal place. Okay, sketch C, stating the coordinates of any intersections with the axes. So let's do that here. Now I'll be flipping back and forth because we know what the asymptotes are. The asymptotes are x equals 2 and x equals minus 1. So let's put x equals 2 in and x equals minus 1 in. And we also have y equals 1. So I'm going to have y equals 1 like this. I'll label those at the end. What else do we need? We need any x-intercepts, but there are none because x squared plus 2 is always positive. What about the y-intercept? Well, when x is 0, I've got 2 over minus 2, which is minus 1, so it's here. Okay, that's it for now. But we do have some turning points, some stationary points as well, which were minus 2 and minus 0.9. So whereas x equals minus 2, minus 0.9, so that's about here. That's a stationary point. I'll put a little line through to show it's flat there. And also minus 8.2 and 0.9, so over here somewhere and just under there, so sort of maybe something like that. Okay, so how do we stitch all of these together? Well, I suppose let's start with the fact that that's a stationary point and there's a point which is lower, so it's going to have to be a little local maximum going through here and down there, and then from that stationary point down here. It can't be going the other way because otherwise it'd have to cross through the x-axis, but it can't because there are no x-intercepts. Now, what happens over here? Well, we've got to get from this vertical asymptote to this stationary point. We can't come from here because we've got no way of crossing through the x-intercept. So it must be coming from here. Then it's going to have to loop down under, hit that station point, head towards the asymptote there. Over on this side, well, it couldn't come from this side because we can't go through the x-axis, so it must come from this side. There's no more stationary points, so it must just tend towards it like that. I think that's our sketch. Now, any intersections with the axes? Well, the only intersection with the axis is this one, which is 0, minus 1. It didn't say to state the equations of the asymptotes. We've got those, and so there's our sketch. All right, what about 1 over f of x? Now, this one is a bit of a free-for-all. No, that's not fair. It's not a free-for-all, but you've just got to kind of puzzle it out. Here's what I mean by that. any time where your original function was racing towards infinity, our reciprocal function is racing towards 0. So I'm going to get an intersection here and an intersection here. Anytime your function is positive here, it's positive here, but the bigger it is here, the smaller it is here. So we're going from infinitely big, i.e. 0, and we are tending towards 1. But the reciprocal of 1 is also 1. So we're going to tend towards 1 here. Now this one dips down below 1 and then tends towards 1. So we're going to be going up towards 1, go over it, and then tend towards 1. Now, what happens between here and here? Well, here it's just going to be negative, and we're now tending towards the point 0 minus 1. The reciprocal of 0 minus 1 is 0 minus 1, i.e. 1 over minus 1 is minus 1. So we're going to get to that same point. This one gets to its sort of smallest negative here and then goes back towards infinity. So we're going to get to our biggest negative just here and then head back to there. And that point corresponds with this asymptote. Now we're just gradually heading back to the asymptote of 1. So we're going to head to our asymptote of 1. This time no stationary point, just heading towards it. So that's an asymptote at 1, which it crosses over here, but tends towards at this point. So what's the key insight there? The key insight is that any points that were vertical asymptote before become an x-intercept. And in theory, it didn't happen in this case. Any point that was an x-intercept here would become a vertical asymptote here. Stationary points are preserved, or at least the x values are. If you've got a little minimum point there, it becomes a little maximum point there, and a little maximum point here becomes a little minimum point there. So that's what I mean by puzzling these things out. It takes a bit of practice, but you've just got to think through it in those kind of terms. Okay, well that's horizontal and vertical asymptotes done for now. I'll see you in the next video.